We are back. We're back. We're live. Another Tuesday. Voice Sports. You already know, man. Shout out to Champion Drive. Big supporter of Voice Sports. Voice Sports always representing the youth consistently. Shout out to the people that help make this possible. Definitely dynamic strength and performance. If you don't know who they are, check them out. Hashtag DSP. I'm not sure if the mobile AD is going to be in the building, but if you're looking to get recruited, R&R Elite Recruits, big shout out to Mark Wright, co-op banker, Coastal Homes, and definitely the big guy. No one represents the youth like Voice Sports does, man. We're going to bring in the professor. Let me get this down. We're gonna bring in all the voice reporters. How we doing today? The professor, man, you filling in for the big dog?
Yeah, sometimes we do that from time to time, man. We're able to go ahead and get the baton handed down to the next. I see Miss Bailey Crossroads in the
Hey,
building. Miss Bailey, how you doing this evening?
doing well. How are you?
Good, good, good. I'm pretty sure we'll have some more jumping in tonight. But welcome everybody back to the Tuesday nights here with Keep It Real podcast. My man Mikey the Rebel. I call him Mikey the Rebel Rebello. Hey, we appreciate everything you've been doing for us, man. Building this platform and letting us come on and do our thing, man. So definitely shout outs to you, my brother. We call him Skip. We call him our hood Skip.
There we
So
go. Me and Wayne talked a little bit earlier on the John Gruden thing, which we're definitely going to get into today. A lot of high school, college football going on in the area, some excellent NFL, some great NFL games, which we're definitely going to talk about. Some great questions. Officials love them or hate them. Wayne kind of had they do their best, but I have to have a counter argument to that.
I
I
know.
definitely respect the officials, but it's all over the country that is just, and the problem is we treat officials so harshly. It's a job that nobody wants, so I understand that. So they're
Yeah,
inexperienced, but
yeah,
some of the things that are going on, and not only in my state, in my region, really across the country, is just the officiating has been horrible at the high school level. And when do we hold them accountable?
right. I mean, you definitely have to hold them accountable. Plenty of stuff we're going to go over tonight, Mike. You're absolutely right. Of course, we'll talk about that. What's happening in college sports or even youth sports right there near you. Um, Officials, most definitely screening process for coaches. What should be done? What can be done? What are you doing? Are you doing your due diligence? Are you making sure that this coach is the right fit for you? We've seen a lot of coaches have we'll call it their moment, to where they kind of go off a little bit. And I get it. I get it. Your intentions are great, but if you lose your cool, and if it just takes a kid's game, a youth football game, to make you lose your cool, I'd hate to see you out at your job and what the heck you got going on. Also joining us, there he is, Uncle Harry is in the building. How you feel tonight?
What's good? What's good? How y'all living out there today?
We are good, man. Good. Too blessed to be stressed, man. Thank you for coming on.
I hear you.
Also, we're going to talk about, of course, like Mikey said, the John Gruden issue. Yeah, was he a fall guy? Was he really a menace? Was he just somebody hidden behind closed doors? Hey, everybody got their opinions. We'll find out here real soon. But Bailey, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody who's maybe a first timer, who's first time or just tuning in for the first time. Let everybody know where you're from and how you got into voice sports.
Wait, who did you say? Did you say me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Ladies
Oh
first.
I,
my God! Listen, you guys win? The Ravens did win, didn't they?
of
Are we
course.
still
What
up
do you
there?
mean? Did we win? Those are fighting words questioning my team.
My
Like Wayne's
goodness!
actually
Come
here.
come on down from the pedestal and let's talk a little football for a minute. It's all good.
Well, I
I'm
guess I'll
just
introduce
teasing.
myself first. Hi, I'm Bailey, aka Crossroads. I've known Wayne. Oh crap! How old am I? 23. Since I was, I want to say 12. ish, give or take a year. I'm not very good at math. And I met him by just casually walking up into the box one day and sitting there in a seat. And he said, if you're going to sit here, you're going to do something. So you're going to work the scoreboard. And that's where I started.
That's where it all starts, working that scoreboard.
Yeah.
That's probably one thing. I'm not even going to lie. I just learned it like about 2-3 weeks ago because all of them are different. And I finally I got stuck up in there. And it was just me and my camera guy. And I'm like, well, I'm announcing. You're working the camera. We have to figure this thing out. So that's exactly what we did. Uncle Harry.
And them scoreboards are so intimidating at times, especially the new ones with the wireless hand devices. You screw that up, you could be a hated guy up in that box with all the people down there. Like,
luckily, I was young enough not to hate me if I were to mess up.
Listen, that whole aspect of, hey, why is the clock still running? Well, because I'm announcing and trying to work the music. Oh, the clock, yeah. Put 10 seconds back on the board. I'm like, brother, you're losing 24-6. It's 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
It's not going to matter.
It ain't going to matter.
I tried that. Put 10 seconds back on the board. I'm like screwing times up. I'm like, they was like, just forget it.
all over
He's
again.
fired.
How do you reset this thing? It's crazy. Uncle Harry, how you doing, my brother? How's everything going on?
I'm doing all right, but I got to say something. It's really cool. I was a film coach for the West Virginia Silverbacks, and we had to play a team in Maryland. And Wayne was announcing. It's the first time I had ever heard him. All right. And as I was filming, he was just so hilarious. Halftime, I walked over to him and I said, listen, my name is Uncle Harry. I do some announcing for the West Virginia Silverbacks. I'm new at this. And man, you're the best thing that I've ever heard. If you ever need a mentor, I mean, if you ever want to mentor somebody, man, I'll go get your coffee. I'll do the scoreboard. I'll do whatever. But please, if you ever looking for someone to mentor, I'm your guy. And he said, well, look me up on Facebook. And by the third quarter, he had actually friend requested me on Facebook.
It was just like me.
Yeah, he's that kind of guy. He really is that kind of guy. And the rest was just history.
Yeah, listen, he's definitely that type of guy. Very, he'll come out with a conversation. He'll let you know exactly where he's coming from. And I think that's exactly what people should be like.
Yeah, he's real.
There was no BS about it. There was no song and dance. No, hey, you're gonna do this. You're gonna be a millionaire in a year, and all that stuff. So the way he kept it real and the way he was my mentor when I first came out was just incredible. And ever since, I call him the sensei. Ever since, it's been one hell of a ride.
Much respect to Wayne, definitely much respect to Wayne, been holding it down. Like, everybody has one of them stories. How'd you meet him? You know what? It was destiny. We kind of bumped into each other, and I could see how you can't bump into Wayne. You know what I mean? Shout out my guy, but everybody has that story. We just bumped into each other. And I never heard him announce except through Facebook. And he has that kind of personality that just draws people right to him.
And then he runs all by his choice and team.
That's just wrong.
Man's not here to defend himself, Bailey. Come on. But listen, hey, I'll tell you, if you've ever worked with him in person like we have, it's totally different.
Oh, yeah.
It's totally different. We are there working, but my goodness, it does not seem like work at all. Because half the time I was just laughing. We saw stuff out there, we talked about it, and it's about the jokes. He makes the booth feel so comfortable that, and then just turn around and turn it off. Oh, big play down the field. I'm like, how do you go from laughing to just straight boom right back to it? And I caught myself doing the same thing. We'll get in there, laugh, have fun with it, and it's not work when you're having fun like that. So, I love what I do. We'll keep it up.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let's talk about. I see the scores going down there at the bottom, ladies and gentlemen. If this is your first time, Mike Rubello has extended his hand and let us come on the Keep It Real podcast along with Voice Sports here every Tuesday at 8 o'clock to bring you some things from around the world. Don't get it twisted. Not all of us live right here in the same area. I myself from South Carolina. Billy, where are you from?
Baltimore, Maryland. Why did I have to think about that?
I don't know why you have to think about it. Oh, hey, let them know where you're at.
Right now, I'm up in the Eastern Panhandle, just representing right on the outskirts of the DMV.
There you go. There you go. So you kind of get a gist. And Mikey is out of Rhode Island.
That's right, Rhode Island, not Long Island, Rhode Island. You know, right between Boston. You know, right between Boston, New York. You know, Fall River, all the Connecticut's right there. You know,
all right, next door. That little small state that's just tucked away in the corner is very own.
The one you can't even see. You know, what's the 3 states that border with Rhode Island?
Mass, Connecticut, and
I'm not good at geography.
there's one. Hold on. What is the other one? Well, is it New York? Not New York.
It actually is New York because the Long Island Sound, that's still territory of Rhode Island. So New York borders with Rhode Island, and I found that out too. And I just, I said, you know, let me just throw it out there.
We all learn something. We all learn something new. But it's just a taste of what's going on all around, ladies and gentlemen. So we say Voice Sports. We try to tell you, viewing our youth consistently everywhere, we absolutely mean it. So tonight we're going to talk about a few things. Bailey, Uncle Harry, Mike, you already have the rundown. We'll talk about the John Gruden. Let's start with John Gruden. Might as well.
You know, that's good to talk about. You know,
yeah, of course.
You know, Uncle Harry, what is your thoughts on it? I mean, I think I might have a different spin than everybody else. You know, there was 650,000 emails sent.
Right.
You know, but if you guys, you know, why don't you guys go first? Or I don't care, I'll go first.
I'll go first. It doesn't bother me at all.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I've always been a John Gruden fan. I mean, I really have. I'm a Washington fan. Everyone knows that. And when we found out we was getting a Gruden, I was disappointed that we got the wrong Gruden. Now, with that being said, do we hold everybody accountable for their past actions? Okay. Have people changed? According to all these emails, he hasn't really changed. And when you talk to a lot of players who previously played for him, a lot of players actually said, we tried to tell you, this cat really isn't who you guys think he is. The real Gruden, you might not see because they'll keep that hidden. They'll keep that in the back somewhere. But we'll just keep putting forth the one that we see, the commercials on television, you know, sitting on the beach, chilling, telling people, you know, stuff like that. But I think, it's time to start weeding out the older bad ones. It's time for a new regime, start to be inclusive of everyone, period. So I'm just going to leave it at that. He's gone. Where will he be next week, next month, next year? Will he be on television again? Will he be at some organization coaching? Right now, I think he might be headed for retirement, but hey, I don't have any money.
I think that's a definite early retirement. Bailey, what do you think?
I don't know enough about it to have an actual opinion. I've just heard bits and pieces, whether it's Mark Packer or Dusty and Danny in the morning, but like that's about all I know is that he, I guess, sent some emails. Do we know how far back they went? Are they recent?
10 years.
Like 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah. And he sent a whole lot,
A lot of people sent a whole lot of emails.
which is true. But believe it or not, the average teenager sends at least, at a minimum, 3,000 texts or emails a month. So, in a bigger scheme of things, it's not a whole lot, but it gives a history. If you sent over a 5 or 10, that's a small history. But if you sent hundreds, that's a history.
But you know, so there's a few. Oh, I know Mike is gonna jump on this. He's gonna kill it. But 10 years you've been doing this. 10 years ago you've been doing this. Somebody's known about it.
Yeah.
Somebody's known about it. So why wait? Why wait? Right? And then instead of him getting fired, which you would then have to turn around and give him his money.
Exactly.
You go around and say you must resign. So I don't want to use the word blackmail, but fall guy is probably the correct term. You took the hit. You knew you were going to take the hit. You obligated to take the hit, and you're the only one. So out of the emails, that 1, 2, 3, 4 of us sit there and email each other for a month straight, talking about whatever, talking however.
Right.
Now, for some reason, I'll even say myself, knock on wood, that Billy decides, nope, I'm throwing it all to the wolves. She's leaking it to somebody, media. She's leaking it to somebody, and turns around and now only my emails come out. What happened to the other 3? What happened to the other people? Because these are chain emails. These are chain emails. So what happens to all that stuff? It's not anything new that people say the type of things that they say behind closed doors. What's new and what's fresh is that person, like Uncle Harry said, that you look up to, that now that hurts you because you really don't know him personally.
Right.
You know, you've never sat down, and sometimes you have a drink, shall we say, with somebody, you're going to find out the truth real quick. After a couple of drinks, the real person might step up. The real person might step up and say, hey, they start talking all crazy. You're looking at them like,
drunk truth.
Not only is he drunk, but hey, what do they say, Uncle Harry? A drunk mind will speak a sober tongue, won't it?
Yes, sir.
Come right out, and everything comes straight out. So,
like, and your baby ugly.
I didn't even tell you that. I think personally that he took the fall. He took the fall. He's not coming out saying anything more about it. All right, I apologize and all that. And guess what? That's all you're gonna say. Gag order, however, possibly. We're not up there. We don't know. Gag order, shut the heck up about it. Take the fall, walk away. Now they're talking about his contract. Me, again, personally, little small time guy, I think they're gonna give him some of that just so he can hush up and move along and just keep it moving.
Yeah,
that's all. So, Mikey, I know you.
My take is that about the money, he should have worked that out before he resigned. You know what I mean? Legally, he should have worked that out before he resigned. I don't think so. He resigned within 2-3 hours of them emails coming out. Now, about the emails, 650,000 emails supposedly they have. If John Gruden's emails didn't get leaked, the NFL is going to keep leaking them until he did get exposed. You got to think, this guy threw Roger Goodell under the bus, so many times. Roger Goodell's extending an olive branch to the Players Association saying we'll get Maurice Smith reelected. We'll get rid of a racist, whatever you want to call John Gruden for what he did. But the bigger question is, this involves Daniel Snyder. This is who it's really about. Now, John Gruden is rich. Daniel Snyder is wealthy. There's a big difference, and this is who it's really about. What happened at the Washington Redskins or what football team organization is despicable. If you start reading into it, the sexual exploitation, the recording cheerleaders, new cheerleaders being recorded. what went on there is horrible, but Daniel Schneider can be fined $10 million, but he sits up there on top of that luxury box looking at the field like cattle. That's what this is really about. And that's why John Gruden is going to take his hits, because they wanted him out of here to begin with. The Raiders get out of all that money, and John Gruden is rich. Daniel Schneider is wealthy. There's a big difference. That's why the tables turned on John Gruden. I'm not giving him a pass. I mean, get him out of here. You can't. But then again, he said it in the privacy of his own home. Why did they make the NBA owner sell his team? You know what I mean? So Daniel Schneider should be forced out of the NFL.
Well,
because this is what it's about.
That's the harder part, right? Because they always say, if you ever want to find out where the trouble is, like Wayne and I said, follow the money. Now, the higher you go up, the more stuff you start digging up, and the closer you get to the truth, it's going to be dangerous for you. So some people are only going to dig so far. And, listen, John Gruden turned around and took the hit for everybody, and that's it. Because there's no way there's a chain of emails, and the only person you hear about is just the one, and only the one's exposed. So
and the rest of the emails are sealed. Now, these emails came from the NFL misconduct investigations into players, people. That's why these emails originally came up. These were all emails from misconduct investigations. So imagine what will be exposed if all them emails got out. Why was the Bill Belichick tape burned in the fireplace, if you look back? Roger Goodell is not going to take the hit. Politicians should learn from Roger Goodell, because he escaped so many scandals.
It's the politics definitely behind it, right? And how you do it. When you have guys that turn around and take the fall, and unfortunately, I don't know what position he was in to take that fall, other than, hey, we're already going to close the emails, because what was people's responses? All that is redacted, and we're not seeing that, right?
Well, the NFL could say, for the sake of the NFL, we don't have to give you anything. They're under lock and key, and we know Roger Goodell's been known to burn stuff. He throws evidence away all the time, and I burned it.
But
where's the rest of the tapes?
Doesn't that make him just as guilty?
Yes, it does, but that's Roger Goodell. Name a stronger guy in America.
But Skip, remember, we're in a new day and age where Roger Goodell might not be the only person that has a copy. So nowadays he can burn something, and there's 15 other people who might have their version of the same thing.
Like he said, he did say some like, women should never be referees. He went on tyrants like that. He called Roger Goodell a faggot. He said that Jeff Fisher was trying to bring queers into the NFL. Like, he said a lot of bad things, and these ain't my words. These are his words. So the community's back up.
So I can imagine this is how he talks around his friends and family.
But now, where does the privacy of what you do from your personal home, like, where does that come in to play? Now, he resigned, so he didn't get fired.
That's not his personal home. It's an email. Now, whether we want to believe it or not, emails are not technically private property. Once it goes on the internet, anyone has access, and anyone can take ownership or claim of it. So if it was in his private home and he was talking to someone else and they came out and said, well, this is what Gruden said, then that would be hearsay. But it's an email. Emails and text messages really aren't private. We want to think that, but that's not true.
Definitely not true. Why are we surprised that people are talking like this? Why are we surprised in this day and age with the internet and everything that's out here nowadays? Why are we surprised that people are going to speak and just say it, however, out the side of their mouth without thinking about it? Nothing.
Right.
Why are we surprised that this stuff is coming out? When it happens, it's just like, okay. And you kind of go on about your business. To sit there and try to, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to the man? What are you going to do? Let him go. He still got money. And he's out.
Does that also leave us in a situation where we can't trust anyone?
Oh yeah, I think we already been there.
Trust somebody in the beginning. I don't trust anybody like that to write something down, Uncle Harry. Right? To write something down. If I have an issue with you, I would rather call you than sit there and implicate myself on what I want to do to you when I see you by writing it down. That's old school
That's
mentality.
evidence.
That's old school mentality. I'm almost 50 years old. There's no way I'm going to write anything down about, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to physically call you. Like you said, unless you're recording, that's all hearsay.
But no, you're right. And this could become a bigger issue because they said this was like an Animal House type thing. Like it was anarchy inside the Washington football team organization. You know, if you start going into details, 100 witnesses, so they might not be able to hide this. The NFL saying the emails are under protecting the identity of the witnesses, so they are sealed in the NFL vault on Park Ave. But they might have no choice but to release them. But Roger Goodell, you know, and this kind of goes like this is why Tom Brady, you know, didn't want his phone taken because, you know, you don't know what they're going to find in them emails. I mean, it came out the worst thing that they found out in Tom Brady's emails that he had ugly taste in his pool cover. You know, like there really wasn't much dirt to find out there. You know, Peyton Manning was buried.
Yeah, if you dig deep enough, you're gonna find something, and you're gonna be surprised. So sometimes the thought of not knowing might be a heck of a lot better because Uncle Harry was heartbroken when Gruden got found out. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people were, but you know, like Wayne says, say la. So you know, you kind of did it to yourself by writing it all down. So,
I mean, they're even taking him off of Madden games.
Oh really? yeah, he's done. He's not gonna rebound from this. You know, it comes down to money. Nobody wants to put their brand name next to him. He's an easy scapegoat. Gruden was out of here. Goodell was gonna get him out of here. That's why these emails kept getting leaked, and they kept getting leaked, and then finally you leaked them to the right person.
Right person who did something with it, and that's exactly what I was saying.
This ain't new news. These emails been being leaked.
And they just sitting there collecting them. Well, so menace or fall guy. Menace or fall guy. We'll let the ladies go first. The lady go first. Bailey. So do you think he is a menace or a fall guy?
Both. I say both because
exactly
at this point, but at the same time, can I throw a devil's advocate perspective?
Go
ahead. Let's go back to the whole Maryland situation with DJ Durkin and that kid. You know, did DJ really let this kid die, or was there a situation that happened and he just was the fall guy? And did he change and grow from it and then move on? So I feel like there's always a point of change for some people. I'm not saying all people, but I feel like we should also give him that opportunity to prove himself if need be.
There was too much for Gruden, though. You know, like we only know a little bit.
Exactly.
Like I think if you knew like all the things, you would be like, no, this guy should never be allowed in a Catholic church again.
Maybe.
You know, like
people can change.
No, definitely, but nobody's gonna put their brand behind that. Right. Not in this day of age. Nobody is gonna put their brand behind that. It's all about brand marketing. You have to do what's best for your brand. You know,
and putting him in there would definitely when it's already came out with so many emails and like I said again, he's the only one whose emails are showing, so it's kind of crazy. So of course, you know, there's some more dark forces in there somewhere, but unfortunately, he's the guy who took the hit. So
why are we pushing harder to find the rest of the emails?
Oh, they have them. They're not lost. They're in the NFL vault. They're under protection of the NFL seal.
Girl that has relationship issues, she'll find him in 10 minutes.
You know, if you look at Peyton Manning,
What for
her
the 10
boyfriend's
minutes?
texts are in there. Her boyfriend's texts are in there. I swear he's texting some other girl. And go in there and find him. And there it goes. I know right how to get him.
how fast did the NFL bury the Peyton Manning thing when they had receipts that he was using performance enhancing drugs? They were being shipped to his house. Before you know it, you got Bountygate, Deflategate, you know, Castlegate, this
Yeah, didn't they
gate.
say that was his wife's?
I mean,
Yeah.
all right. If she needs that much testosterone, if she needs that much testosterone,
I'm good. I'm good. She's taking him out. I'm good.
She in there bench pressing appliances.
you know,
Hey,
yeah, like.
what are you doing?
So the NFL has covered a lot worse.
Yeah.
And Uncle Harry, what do you think? Menace or Fall Guy?
I'm gonna say both like Bailey.
Uh-oh. All right. Nothing wrong with that. Mike.
He's the menace to society fall guy. He's definitely the fall guy. He always been a menace. When have we known John Gruden not to be a menace? So the first one's kind of given, but he's definitely a fall guy. I mean, he's gonna take his lumps. Like he did something you shouldn't even say some of the things he said, but
Right.
it is what it is. It was 10 years ago, way before he was in the Raiders organization, and that's why he should have waited and not resigned so fast. Like I don't see time-wise a legal situation like that, how he had a chance to negotiate money, negotiate deals, get lawyers, get a judge to sign it. He just resigned too fast.
Like you said, Skip, maybe they have some other evidence that we don't have.
Oh, yeah.
Something that was so damning that he was like, no, I got to go.
Well, not only that, what did I say? He's rich, but they're wealthy.
Right.
And what if you protect them?
The whole thing was brought to him. If I have some dirt on Mikey Rebello, guess what? We're writing it all down. I got my notes. I got everything I want to say. The lawyers have already talked about it. We backed it up. Here it is. Now, when I bring it to you, that's why you don't have the time to go talk to your lawyers, the time to go do all this stuff. Nope. Here it is. This is what's going to happen. Or, we're going to leak the emails. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. That's, I know it sounds like the movies, but it almost seems like reality.
But at the end of the day, this was about Dan Schneider. This was about billionaires. That's who this investigation was focused around. And who is it not talking about? Read, someone once said, read between the line, the devil's in the tea leaves.
So, Skip, are you kind of saying that Coach Gruden was caught up in the Dan Schneider investigation?
Yes, Coach Gruden was definitely caught up in a Dan Schneider investigation, and this is to get eyes off of Dan Schneider because eventually he's going to have to step down. I know they made his wife step up. He's not in charge, but he's still allowed. He's still at the facility every day, running it behind the scenes. Do what you did to Eddie DiBarlo, that owned the San Francisco 49ers. You are out of here. You're not even allowed on the property. But what they did, if you start reading into what was going on in this place, I was like, oh my goodness, it was crazy. Sex exploitation was going on, some really creepy things. So he was definitely a fall guy, but this is more about billionaires that don't get exposed.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it. I don't think it's over with. There'll probably be some more stuff. It'll just come out later on in time. Who knows? But on to the next subject. Let's talk about screening coaches, screening youth coaches, high school coaches. I know they have to do several screenings. I know they do down here in Charleston, South Carolina.
They do here in West Virginia.
I don't say hoops, but they have to go through some levels of training and things like that. Screening youth coaches. What do you guys think?
It's tough to get youth coaches at that, right? So they're going to do a BCI. You're willing to coach, get in there. And here's the problem. You got a lot of these coaches that shouldn't even be anywhere near a youth football field. Like, I don't care, they're BCI class. They have no business anywhere near a youth football field. They're getting all their drills off of YouTube. You know what I mean? They're learning this, they're learning that. It's all about them, their son, and their cousin's brother's kid. You know what I mean? It's like, my son's quarterback. Your son cannot even walk. Never mind throw the football. you know, and I'm just gonna keep it real, man. Like, you know, and then you have these other people, you know, that my son's gonna play this position or they're out of here. But these coaches definitely need more. They have to do more
Mentors.
screening. You definitely need more mentors because we're in the worst of fatherless homes ever. Three
Right.
out of four homes I read were actually fatherless, and I was like, that's crazy. That's like 75% of our kids in high school. There's no home. There's no fathers in the homes, and guess what? There's no mentors because they're not letting some of these OGs from the neighborhood get involved in youth sports because they're worried about they have a felony from 25 years ago.
I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
I really do. I
Go
really
ahead,
do.
Go ahead, Uncle Harry. Speak on.
There are so many, like Skip said, there are so many mentors who actually might have done something wrong in their younger days or in their past. They paid their price and they learned from it. And in that learning process, they have a lot to impart in these kids out there now. I mean, they're the ones who've actually gone through the worst of the worst. Okay, so they had most of them stand a better chance of imparting or connecting with these kids. So keeping them away is not a good thing, neither for the coach nor for some of these kids. But then again, you do have some, like Skip said, that shouldn't be in the same state with our kids. And parents overlook some of these nuts, but I digress. I'm sorry. I don't want to
But
get
we
emotional.
just had this guy that's been involved in youth sports for years, done so much, sent so many youth kids up to the next level. Got in trouble 26 years ago in New Jersey. Was hired by a school in Rhode Island to coach. The school hired him. The AD approved it. It got to City Hall, and they rejected it because everybody's worried about a liability. Oh, but he sold a $20, drug
Right.
26 years ago, and he said, "I'm sorry. I grew up in New Jersey, man. Like I was surrounded by drug dealers. That's all we knew.
Right.
But I put almost 3 decades into giving back and
Right.
putting and you have and people can vouch for that. He's done so much in youth sports, but I can't work with high school kids. You know what? If you let more felons work in the school department, you'll have less problems than you do now because a lot of these kids will think twice about stepping out of line. And like Uncle Harry said, these guys know, I call them old heads. They know how to relate to these kids, and these kids look up to them. But now you don't want them on a football field because what? So if I'm a felon, when is my price ever paid?
All right. When is the time ever up?
When is it ever paid?
Never.
It's never paid.
Never.
Can't ever own a
It's
firearm.
never fully paid because there's
I
a
can't
lot
get
of
a
things
job. Can't get an
That's
apartment.
that's not necessarily true.
No, right.
Now,
There are
if you
loopholes,
have
but
money, no, if you have money, you could be a felon and just live an awesome life
mhm.
like it never happened. But if you're from a community that's without, if you're a felon, you're screwed, basically.
Oh,
You
basically,
still have
yes,
to
you
go through
are.
the hoops. You still have to go through the hoops to get it taken off your record and things like that. And hey, let's hope you live in the same state because if you don't, now you got to send letters back to another state that where you had that issue 20, 25 years ago and things like that. I think it's more when it's fresh and it's early, it's a lot harder. And it's a lot
Exactly.
harder on
Oh
both
no,
sides.
yes,
But,
but when you
Right.
got decades of
we
time,
have to take responsibility. If we do something wrong, that the crime will fit the punishment, so to speak.
Right.
I don't think high school. I don't think high school might be the place. I think you'd be more impressionable after you've done your time, you everything, whatever you had to do, and you've been in society and you've been working it, and you're a productive member now of
well, yeah,
society.
that's what we're talking about.
When you
25,
in
30
trouble,
years.
right? You're good. You're working your job, raising a family, kids, all that stuff. I think maybe not high school. You probably have to prove yourself at high school, but personally, I think you're more impressionable when it comes to the youth. I think catch them early. Catch them early, because when we start to get to 12U, these kids already start to have 10U even, already have a mind of their own.
Right.
I'm on the field a lot of the time. Just to hear how some of these kids talk, man. I'm pretty sure everybody knows. Like, this is a new age. They're talking crazy, and the parents is right there thinking that it's funny or it's whatever else. A lot of stuff that they don't know. If we mic'd up some of these kids, if I mic'd up some of these kids that I'm sitting there calling games for, their parents might be floored to know what they're out there saying on that field. I mean, back in the days, right? Harry, Mike, you guys might remember when we did try to say a cuss word, it was
one of the neighbors might smack you. Where's your mother? I'm going to tell her I smacked you. You know,
I have to be honest. I am 54 years old, and to this day, neither myself nor my sibling will say a cuss word within 800 miles of my mom.
800 miles.
800 miles, seriously.
I believe it.
Still him. If he cuss now, she gonna text him. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Oh, them old timers, they'll throw a shoe, you run around the corner, the shoe follows you, hits you in the head. It's like, how'd you do that?
I have never once cursed on a microphone for fear of my mom listening and would hear me curse. I'm totally serious.
I believe.
Respect to you, Uncle Harry, you know? Definitely.
I get the changes. I've been in those shoes. It took a lot of my life away. Wasn't incarcerated for a long period of time, anything like that. But it took a lot away. Not being able to get this job, not being able to get that job, having to fight and do just whatever I can to sit there and provide for the family and all the other stuff, or to just take care of myself first so I could provide for the family. It took a lot of no's, slamming doors in my face and things like that. The one thing I can say is when I went to go into rec coaching, they didn't ask, they didn't say none of that. I went and presented myself professionally, had no major issues. It's not all about the cussing and I'm the tough guy and I'm a this and I'm that. Listen, I just want to give back to my community.
Right.
It was free. I just want to give back to my community, and this is what I want to do. When they gave me that opportunity, hey, I said, this is it. It's lights out. I guarantee you I'm going to give this and give it 100%. And that's exactly what I did. So the screening part, we went to move to AAU from rec. We went to go to AAU. It almost took a bad turn. Now, okay, let's do a background check. Okay, well, don't know how many years are going back, but let me just be honest. This is what I had about 20, 25 years ago. All right, not a problem. But then it got up to the higher ups, and it was, oh, hold on, wait. No, somebody has to vouch for you in order to come in. From 25 years ago, and I've sat there and worked for hospitals and other state organizations and all that stuff, and now this is what you want to do. It was kind of disheartening, but it can be done. And I think a lot of those guys have changed. I think that they are impressionable, and I think they should get it at a younger age. I understand you might think that, or your dream might be to go to the high school and do it. Don't hinder on that. If I send that young student athlete up there, develop, and his mindset is kind of where I wanted, where you want him to be, then you've done your job. They go up there, they're polite, yes sir, no sir. They take the butt chewings like it's nothing, and they'll go back and they'll keep giving it their all, and their work ethic. That word has been lost for a long time. Their work ethic stays something else. I say let them go. Let them do it. There's nothing sexual.
Oh no, definitely no violence, no sex. No, exactly. That goes without saying.
Right. You have to. I'll say you have to give them a chance. But like you said, how long do I have to pay that debt to society before somebody believes, hey, I've been changed? And after a while, they're going to get frustrated. It's going to be bump you, give you the bird, and I'm just, I'm done with it. And you might just turn them right back to what the heck they were doing the first time.
Speaking of bird, our next topic, we're going to talk about referees, love them or hate them, and
We
do
know how this
they?
might be a stand.
I think
I
we'll move
totally
on to the next topic.
No, you're
Yeah,
good.
well, I
You're
don't
good.
have a lot of hate for officials, but
Yeah,
like I said
yeah.
earlier, I said this earlier, Uncle Harry, off camera, that the problem we're having is that officials are treated with so much disrespect. They're leaving, and we're getting new ones that have no experience and
Right.
are horrible, horrible. Matter of fact, did I say horrible?
Kind
Like,
of,
and
sort of.
I'm serious. Like, I'm like really, like, and it's really they're reacting off crowd noise. Everything's targeting. Just some of the calls that they're making. It's like, dude, they just have to do better. If you want to do the job, then do better at it, because some of these kids are trying to move on. I told the professor earlier, you have kids that want to play football, and then you have football players. You're hurting those football players that want to move on, and I understand things are going to get missed. My good friend is an official, and I tell him all the time, I'm constantly crapping on him, and all his other guys, but I give them a lot of credit. But lately in my state, there's been so much negativity about the way the officials do their job. And I'm always trying to promote people. You want to stay connected to the game? Come be an official. You could make some decent money on a weekend. Do a
It's
couple
about
youth
it's about
games.
it's about about what comes with that though.
Yeah,
So
and nobody
before we
wants to do it.
yeah,
I
do you
mean, they're
play? Look,
pulling out guns at youth
Yeah.
games.
I'll
Yes,
tell you
I
my
just seen
opinion.
that, and I seen that a couple weeks ago when we had a fist fight up here at a youth game. I mean, but if you're gonna be on the field, like some of these calls, you can't let intimidation make you throw a flag. And you have to pay attention if you're gonna be there and wear that nice white and black shirt that you like so much, like, or you're just gonna go there and wear the uniform. You
Some
know what
Yeah.
I
do.
mean? Do
Bailey,
your job. Read the
Bailey,
rule book.
what do you think, Bailey? Referees, love them or hate them, or what is your opinion about what's going on with referees nowadays?
Depends what level we're talking.
Oh, we'll stick to high school. How's that?
High
You
school?
know,
I don't.
high school youth.
I'm so far out of high school, and like
What are you?
I'm
You're more into
54.
college and NFL have it a little bit easier. College and NFL have it a little bit easier. You have
I mean,
replays. You
I
got
watch
things
more
like
college and NFL than I do high school, only because my brothers are out of high school. But from what I can remember of high school, especially around me, um, the refs were never really that great. They weren't really up to par. They didn't really know the rules. I'm pretty sure most of the teams knew the rules better than the refs did. Unfortunately,
Most of the
um,
parents know the rules better than the refs too.
yeah,
and some
parents,
parents do.
players.
Some
Respect
parents
to
do.
all the referees, though. I'm not trying to. I
Yeah,
just
Respectfully to
definitely.
all of the
yeah.
refs.
Respectfully, y'all don't know sometimes. Some of you don't know, but I think it's. I think when it comes to NFL, Bailey, um, you have help now. These guys have, now you get to go up in the booth. If I call the wrong play, if I call it one way, it immediately goes up now. Now
Right.
it's not
Now New
even,
York will
you
call.
don't even have to challenge anymore. It's just, oh, I did what? Oh, my bad. Let me pick up my flag. And then, oh, I was wrong? You sure?
Well, we also
Sure.
have the power of replaying plays to make sure we get things right. Not that we don't
Right.
necessarily have in youth and high school football. But then if we're gonna go to college football, the whole thing with the targeting calls has been a huge thing.
That's
At
been a
least for,
failure, in my opinion.
Yes, definitely. It
You know
should
what?
just be a 10-yarder. That's it. Not
I had a,
non-targeting, targeting.
I did that for a topic one time. So we could, I mean, I don't want to jump on that one, but
I was just bringing that up
targeting,
as an example of calls that refs can go either way on, and people are not being happy with it. So I feel like as a fan, you have to respect the ref, even right call or not.
Right.
It's their
True.
judgment
Right.
versus ours. They're seeing something that we might not necessarily see because they're there in the moment, or they may miss something because they're there in the moment. But we also have to remember they're being paid to do that as well. So tread carefully.
Well, exactly. And some high school sports in states like again, I'm in the smallest state, and the league here brings in $1.5 million a year. So like this is a big business across the country, multi-billion-dollar industry here. So if you want the job, you want to get paid to do it, just do it right. Educate yourself.
It comes with a price nowadays. Youth football isn't the same. I know we hear stories all the time about people coming in with threats of guns, threats of violence, catching the referee. Some of these people aren't putting referees in a position to where they just walk off the field and drive off in a separate direction. You're going out there in the same area, in the same parking lot as the parents that feel that you cheated them. Like, I have nothing else to do, but today I'm going to wake up and, man, I think I'm going to get that team. Oh, I don't like those guys. Nobody's doing that. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to do anything that, like Bailey says. Do the referees make mistakes? Yes. What are you going to do about that flag? If you're a coach, you're that coach, right? You're that real coach. You're the real deal Holyfield. Then that flag should not depict what you are doing in the game. It's like boxing. I tell my kids all the time. You let those referees turn around and depict on what you're going to do in the game. That's like a boxer trying to tell the judge, I could have swore I hit him 20 times. You only counted 12.
Right.
And you counted 14. And go in there and knock his behind out and be done with it. If you want to do that, go ahead and just lay them out.
Well, there used to be accountability. There is no more accountability. So you could be a ref and you could go and throw 10 flags a game that really are non-calls, and there's no punishment for that.
No,
yeah, you'll be reffing next week.
I did a game
suspension?
Referee, I know his arm was tired.
But they don't have enough referees to suspend any of them.
We're short.
They got barely enough state across the country. They're at a record right now.
Yeah, threats of violence and everything else going on. We don't even have them. So I understand wanting to come in the profession because that's what you like to do. Staying in that profession is almost dangerous. Let's be real about it. It's almost dangerous because you're the most hated guy at the time. You're the most hated guy right now. Nobody, I don't know anybody who says, man, I love a referee. Nobody likes it because sometimes it just doesn't go your way. Uncle Harry, referees, love them, hate them?
Well, they're necessary evil. That I have to say. They are definitely a necessary evil. And I really believe there's more good referees than bad referees. I like them. I don't love them. I definitely don't love them. Listen, last week, fortunately, I love football so much. I also get to film football for television. And I watched the Martinsburg Bulldogs go all the way to Painesville, Ohio, and play Riverside. And I'm actually the camera that's on the field. I'm the camera that's next to the coaches. I'm talking to the players. The referees are running by me, telling me to move out the way. And I had my camera aimed at a certain player so I can get a certain shot. And getting that shot, I watched a Riverside player punched a Martinsburg player in the back of the head. I mean, it wasn't like he accidentally did it. It was a straight Mike Tyson type jab. We saw it. The whole Martinsburg bench saw it. And the bad part, the referee was standing next to the player. And I literally got this on camera. And at no time did the referee say anything to the player. The Martinsburg coach was like, ref, you had to see it. We all saw it. Then we watch, the very next play, the same kid who got punched in the back of the head, as he ran past the player who punched him, he said a cuss word. Now, we understand it's high school football. And yes, these young men cuss. That's just part of the game. All right, the coaches cuss, the young men cuss. The referee actually called a penalty on him for saying a cuss word, but didn't say anything or call anything when the young man hit the other guy in the head. So that's a bad referee. How do we weed that out in the middle of a game?
So you can smack him, but don't swear at him.
Right. It was crazy to see, but I've seen it forever.
Like, skip tail, you smack him. As soon as you say that cuss word, you're out of here. I think referees should be, if you're going to be that referee, if you're going to be that flag thrower, if you're going to be that guy, I don't want to say like, let's say firm but fair.
Okay.
You got to be that way from the jump. You can't be that way with just one team. You're going to have to be that way straight down the line. You're going to walk that line and stand firm with your chest out and walk that line. You can't be,
but for both teams. It has to be for both teams.
You got to walk that line. Yeah, you got to walk that line right down the center. There's no, well, he didn't really mean to do that, and he didn't really. You can't be that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't throw a flag for intentions.
And there's certain referees, like, they may see a foul that someone else don't see. You know, them older school referees, you know, the holding stuff on the line, some referees might let something go that another referee would think that is egregious. PI, some referees really, them old school guys, like PI is like, they really don't even know what PI is, you know, and it's tough to get some referees to throw a PI. And then other referees are like, oh, you were too close to him, you know, throwing the flag. So I guess
but do you standardize that before the game?
Yeah,
I mean, as referees, do you talk to each other and say, listen, this is what I'm going to throw a flag on. This is what I normally let go.
Well,
this is all said right there at the coin toss with the coaches, the captains, and everybody sitting right there.
Yeah.
So we're all on the same page. Listen, fellas, it's going to be a tough game because, listen, I say 9 times out of 10 down here in the South Carolina area, you know when it starts getting strict? When playoffs and championships come. Why are you waiting? If you're going to be
that should be standardized.
Preseason. You're going to be like that during preseason.
Well, you also see it a lot when one team starts outscoring the other. You start seeing a lot of flags start coming the second half of the game to try to slow things up. But we need referees, and like the professor said, as a coach, you shouldn't even let that come in the way. Like it shouldn't dictate a game. And I was always told, you know, there's special teams, offense, defense, and then there's officiating. And you have to, they're like hand grenades. Yellow flags come in like hand grenades. When you don't want them, you can't run from them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You gotta definitely play through them.
I told Wayne that I mentioned this. It's coming up November 26th and 28th. It looks like it's 8U to 14U. The information should be on there. It looks like age requirements as of July 31st, 2021 AYF rules. So definitely check that out. I told Wayne I give that a share. But the professor, you want to close it up?
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, you know, we always do. You get 3 minutes. 3 minutes to talk about any subject you want to talk about. What's going on in your area? What's coming up? Anything, Bailey? Yeah, I take it. Anybody want to take a wild guess? What the hell Bailey's going to talk about?
Is that not what you think?
Jump off that. We knew it was coming.
Or Wayne and the Steelers.
It's actually not even about that. I mean, I could, but I won't.
How your man did come back. Now he did look good. And do you know that they retired his jersey, right, in Louisville?
Wait, what?
Your quarterback, they retired his jersey in Louisville.
Oh yeah, I know. I heard about that. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty exciting for him.
For him, I mean, I'm indifferent about it. It's cool for him. It doesn't really affect me, other than the fact he's my quarterback.
So you didn't like him until he came to. All right.
I love him. Don't get me wrong, but that doesn't really affect me. Am I starting with the 3 minutes?
You got, of course, ladies first, always.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna, rant about the Ole Miss and Tennessee game. The last 54 seconds. I don't know if y'all heard about that, but there was 54 seconds left in the game, Tennessee was 4th and 28, and they went for it because they had nothing to lose except for the game. And they missed supposedly because there's no good camera angle to see where the ball was versus where his knee was down. And the Tennessee fans weren't very happy about it, so they started throwing a bunch of beer cans, beer bottles, water bottles, golf balls at Lane Kiffin, mustard bottles that they got from concessions, and throwing them at Ole Miss players, at Ole Miss coaches, and you have your Tennessee cheerleaders, dance team, and your marching band evacuate because it's that dangerous.
Would that classify as a riot?
I would say.
Well, they were fined $250,000 for that. $250,000 Tennessee was fined by the SEC.
Yeah, compared to their 40 million that they make with football by itself.
Yeah,
it's just a drop in the bucket.
That's just a slap on the wrist. And I don't know how to feel because, my brother is part of the Ole Miss team, so I felt like a little bit personally attacked, a little bit biased in this opinion, because, that's my blood, my family, my blood that's literally being attacked because of one call from a ref.
Back to previous conversations.
That definitely went left. That definitely went left to go on that angle. No camera angle. Referees didn't have an angle. Nobody could actually see. What do you do? So now we're almost back to that conversation, right? So this referee, nobody went after the referee.
How is there a no camera angle in $1 billion industry?
Because they don't want you to see it.
Like a good enough angle. I mean, like from different angles, you can see different things. I personally was like, cool, that means a win for me. And I was happy for my team, so I was happy with it. But then you got the Tennessee fans that are like not happy with it, throwing crap on the field.
Imagine how many people with cell phones say, look, I have it right here. Look, I got it.
And then the slap on the wrist is, those people just can't come back the rest of the season. Why don't you ban them indefinitely instead of trying to, punish the students that are on the field? If you say you forfeit your point of view, I don't know. My dad said it. So he just why don't you just forfeit the game? I was like, because then you're punishing the kids that didn't do anything to begin with, even though they're the home fans.
You are, but then you have to set what do you think would have been the appropriate punishment for the actions?
I would say just ban indefinitely from college football. If you are belligerent enough,
how do you know who threw what?
Now that's what you know.
It's on camera.
But you didn't have the right camera angle to catch that last shot, right? But you have the people who threw a bottle.
No.
But you have to be responsible for your fans. And that's usually how it goes. You have to be responsible for your fans. But who do they punish? You arrest 18 people, you eject 47 people. Somebody has to be punished, and so they're going to punish the university to make sure this don't happen again. And that's why when there's a shooting, the nightclub usually loses its license.
Yeah,
they really don't have nothing to do with the shooting, but we got to punish somebody. You know what I mean? Somebody has to be the Gruden. We're gonna start calling that the Gruden. Okay. Yeah, you were Gruden.
I don't know. But Bill, I like it. And your Ravens, what are they gonna do
with the win? The 34-6 win.
But they'll be all right.
31. What do I know?
Well, you're not screaming playoffs. What is it?
Playoffs. Playoffs.
The only thing I'm going to say about playoffs is the fact the Steelers won't make it again.
Oh, sorry, Wayne. It's nothing I
I'm not
can
sorry.
My team really sucks. So
I'm a Washington fan. I'm not even thinking about playoffs.
Well, we're right there. Hey, we're right there with you. I'm a Giants fan. And
okay, my man.
And
Yeah.
Patriots, they leave
Bandwagon off
friggin'.
my
You
team,
could
that's cool.
run a truck through the Patriot line, so I don't think they. And Tom Brady ain't coming back, but his wife did hint to it. His wife Giselle, who runs the, wears the shoes in the family, and the
She's kidding.
pants.
He's
Yeah,
not
I
And the
know
kidding.
bikini.
that. I
And
know
his
that she
mom.
was kidding.
Family.
I'll tell you what, he will be back as a Patriot
No, he
before
won't.
he officially retires because he'll
Oh,
come do
they'll
that.
retire him.
He'll
I
do
think
the
he would.
one day, just like
Yeah,
Vince
one day.
Wilfork.
I think he would.
Yeah, he'll
Why
definitely.
would you want to
Very
return
good.
after Belichick did him that dirty?
Because your
Because-
name will live in infamy. Your name will be there forever.
Okay, his name will forever be in Tampa Bay too after the comeback he had first time.
And not for
But
one,
Tampa
not
Bay
like a
won't
New England
retire.
legacy.
Tampa Bay won't retire
No.
Tom Brady's number.
That
Yeah.
New England legacy is something
No,
special,
right.
and that guy had people up here willing to give kidneys to his high school coach. You know what I mean? Like they are
Okay.
ridiculous
I
with
really just
Tom
don't like the
Brady.
Patriots,
So
I don't want that to happen.
That's a bit
Yeah.
much, but okay.
No, yeah, the guy is around here. I mean, he's a god, and look at everything he's did to cement his legacy in
Yeah,
that New
he is
England
the GOAT.
Patriot jersey.
He
And
is, he is a GOAT. Definitely considered a GOAT. Cam
Yeah.
Newton, I heard, might be making a comeback going to Seattle, but listen, we won't jump onto that too much. Possibly, there's rumors.
We'll see.
Harry, you got 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll be real quick, fast, and easy. All right, this Friday, we're going to have the game of the year up here in the Eastern Panhandle. The Martinsburg Bulldogs, who are 8-0 against the Jefferson Cougars. So it's K9s versus Felines. We're going to see who comes out on top. Now, for Jefferson, this is their first year in, say, 10 years where they had a really good season. And 7-0, that's a good season. I've only gotten to one Jefferson game so far this season. And the game that I did get to, it was 42-0 at halftime. Yeah, they're rolling. Offense, defense, special teams clicking. Martinsburg has been a powerhouse up here in the Eastern Panhandle. The last 12 years, they've gone to state 10 of 12 years. They've won, I think, 8 of the last 10 years. Last year, the only reason why they didn't make it a state was because of COVID. They were in a red district area where COVID was so high that the school wasn't allowed to participate. That's the only reason why they didn't win. So
are they private or public?
Public.
Really?
Yeah, public. Martinsburg Bulldogs. Friday, it's going to be a serious game because it's a conference game. It's an inner city game. The schools are only maybe 15, 20 minutes apart. So the crowds are going to be huge. And this could have a big implication on the end of the year because Jefferson is shooting for number 1. Martinsburg has always been the top dog up here. I mean, they're the Bulldogs. Yeah, the top dog. And this is going to be something different. The only thing that I see that's going to stop Martinsburg or slow Martinsburg down a little bit is their special teams. They're clicking on offense. They're definitely clicking on defense, but they've had a few mishaps on special teams. If they can get that together and figure out how to sew that up, then I don't want to say it because I have a lot of friends who went to Jefferson, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say Martinsburg for the win. That's my 3 minutes. I just had to put us on display.
Pulling it out. Hey, we appreciate it, man. That's what it's all about. He's got Martinsburg Bulldogs.
Before we go to the other 3 minutes, I have an answer to one of the questions that someone had earlier of punishment for Tennessee, and I think they should only have players' families in stands next season as a punishment.
Ooh, what about
that's gonna hurt their
students?
pockets.
Right. What about students?
They're the ones creating the drama in the first place. So
Okay.
if you're gonna make an impressionable punishment, I think that would be a fair punishment. That way, you're not necessarily punishing the kid, like the players, but you're setting an example.
For the rest of this season, possibly. But that's a lot of money to lose. I understand what you're saying. That is a heck of a lot of money to lose for an entire season. And I get
but
it. But
it's
it's a
a
business.
bold statement.
But
It's
The
what
not.
about
NCAA would never go for that.
season ticket
No.
holders? Think about that.
Ooh, you gonna give them? Oh, you gonna
Yeah.
give them money now?
Well, you
Yeah,
lose your
this is a
season
business.
tickets, just like the NFL. If any of them people were season ticket holders, I bet they lost their season tickets, or
Oh yeah,
whoever
of course.
owned them season tickets, I bet they lost them.
Yeah.
Alumni, and
Yeah.
everybody else. The further we start going, the more it's kind of like, okay, well, everybody's almost coming back. Respect it. I like it. I think that is harsh, Bailey. I mean, dang, you went from I
It is
don't
harsh.
know to just get rid of everybody. Tell everybody go
I mean,
Off with the
it's like
heads.
all over again.
off with their
She
heads.
said, "Bring them 18 people arrested. Get the guillotine. Let's be done with that."
I'm done with it. Ain't got to worry about them no more. Well, here in South Carolina, there was rumors in the 12U division of 14-year-olds being used in a game.
Ooh.
Now, allegedly, it's a story that I'm digging into, and I'll probably come back on the lab this weekend and talk about it. There was ID checks. They even went so far as to bring the kids into the ID check, and they were told, "Well, come on, you serious? Kids are way too old. No, they can't play. What are you doing?
Kid had a mustache and a
Put
beard.
on, you know what I mean?
Pulling up in a
Thinking of mine
navigator.
years, huh?
How you gonna play
And then
12 you and got grandkids? I'm
he
sorry.
got grins with a cigarette in his mouth. Come on, man. So they turn around. They turn around and the kids go to the sideline. And about like the end of the first quarter, the other team notices these kids over there changing into jerseys. They're putting on jerseys. And they come in the game like,
What
of
the
course,
heck?
he gets in the
In
game.
front of everybody.
That's bold.
Listen, that's exactly what I said. If I am the parent of the team that is doing that, you mean to tell me I'm going to sit there and watch you dress a kid who was too old for the game? You don't know this kid. This kid just got picked up allegedly, again, I said, allegedly, by another coach and brought 4 of them. And that they all come in there and they get ready to play and they get out on the field. The team still loses. But then it like all hell breaks loose. 2 things I don't like about it. One, as a parent of the team that did it, if I'm showing up to practice, I had a paid registration for my child to play. I don't care if it's a winning season, losing season, whatever it is. My child is being developed in one way, shape, or form. Now you came in and my child now has to step back to let some 14-year-old play in his
With prison
position?
tattoos.
And then turn around, even more so, now it's a safety risk. Because in 12U, Mike, I'm pretty sure you all know that let's say a kid turned 11, like the AYF rule says July 31st, right? That's the cutoff date. If he turned 12 before that, or AYF doesn't single age, let's just say he's playing 12U, he's 11, getting ready to turn 12. But you have another kid that's 14 that's sitting there hitting on a 12-year-old. Or in some cases, some of those kids are too old to play 10U. There is no 11U single age group, and they have to play 12U. So now there's a 14-year-old kid hitting on an 11-year-old kid. This kid's experienced. This kid, 14 years old, playing JV. If I'm not mistaken, 14, you should be almost playing JV, right?
Yeah, we shouldn't even be playing youth anymore.
Right.
And you coming down, these coaches. So, right, what happens to that? What happens to that organization? That organization, to me, should be gone. A parent sits there and watch that stuff happen. It should have been a whistleblower from their own organization.
Right.
Just due to safety.
Because, safety issue. Right.
That happened around here a couple of years ago when they were eliminated from the playoffs. They weren't allowed to go to the playoffs.
I mean, how to get away with it so long? But my thing is, as the parent, I have a moral compass. I know what's right and I know what's wrong. I'll be damned if I sit there and let that older kid sit there and just punch up on a kid. I don't like the bullying. We don't do bullying in my house.
Professor, we grew up in a different era, so we look at things a lot differently.
Yeah, I believe in karma. So if I do that, I definitely know that it's coming back tenfold.
Yeah.
Also, smaller balls being used. I guarantee this is not a joke. Of the small balls being used in the 12U, like the TDJs, the TDYs, it's a smaller ball that they would use in 8U and or even 10U, just so the kid could have a better grip. The quarterback can have a better grip. It's like us throwing a Nerf. Let me just compare it.
But it must be regulation for that league. They have officials. I know up here, like with the AYF, the different leagues, you have officials, so they have to be certified for that game.
They don't know. I can guarantee you, a lot of them don't know what ball. Like you said, right? We said earlier, some officials know it, some people don't. Every time they're going to get the ball off the sideline. Mike, you use your ball for your team. Uncle Harry, you use your ball for your team. So every time something happens, whether it's a turnover or whatever, Mike turns around and just is on offense. Guess what I'm doing? Hey, Mike, throw me your ball. Mike, let me get your ball. Then it turns over again. Harry, let me get your ball from your side. You don't know. They're grabbing it. They're putting it down. And there it goes.
Why are we not Garrett Blunt likes softballs.
I think it should be like the NFL. I say like the NFL. It should be similar to the NFL, to where you come, you got a set. That's what you're using for the 8U, the 10U, 12U. It should be checked. I think we should be checking them. I don't think it's not a big deal about who brings them or who's, you want to use your own ball. I get it. But I think there should be a set standard for it, and it should be checked by the officials.
But will we have a 12U deflate gate then?
Again,
another waste of money.
That's my man.
I did read the Wells report.
The referee touches the ball more than almost anybody, right? So you're getting it. You every now and then. Come on, Harry. You throw me the ball. I grab it. I give it a little squeeze.
There you go.
As long as it's not like this, Harry, we got to go like this. Squeeze, and then there you go. You want to call it the squeeze test? Call it what you want. But I think you have to be observant. Let's just keep it simple, right? You have to be observant about what the hell is going on. If they're using a smaller ball, obviously it's an advantage. Again, it's like you throwing them little mini balls. The kid's got a better grip on it. It's just him playing around with it instead of playing up to the age where they should be with the correct ball.
That's what they said on Park Ave. That's what they said. The NFL said the same thing. We'll have to get into that one day. But, guys, this has been great. I hope Wayne's feeling okay.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday, we'll definitely be back here. Wayne's probably recovering, from his Steelers, is it?
They won this week. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's still recovering. It's tough to be a Steelers fan.
The stuff laying under a steel curtain.
It really hurts when you win and lose.
Him, Samson, the bad guy. Matter of fact, shout out to all of the other Voice sports reporters out there that are doing those things, that are doing their thing. They have been we have all been extremely busy with our regular season in our own hometowns, kind of just plugging and playing and getting blessed with the work and getting behind the mic. So I know he's been running around, and as soon as it all ends, I have my last regular game season coming up this weekend, game of the week. The following weekend is playoffs. After that is championship. And about 2 weeks after that, we get ready to start traveling once again for all the showcases and everything that's going to happen. So it's going to be, it's a blessing and sometimes a curse. Sometimes you just got to say time out, take a pause. But thankfully, he can hand it to the rest of us. And we'll be more than happy to step in whenever we need to. We appreciate you, Mike. Man, this is, once again, great show. Thank you, Miss Bailey.
Of course. Anytime.
All right. Thank you, Uncle Harry. We appreciate you. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Keep It Real podcast. You have got to keep up with it. Mikey the Rebel Rebello is 100% real. He tells it like it is.
Yes, sir.
Right, wrong.
I try to.
You're going to have to prove it to him. If he's wrong, you're going to have to come with the proof. Because I guarantee you, He's got some stuff he's going to flash up on the screen and tell you real quick that you're dead wrong because he's going to have it in black and white.
You already know. Thank you guys, man. Big shout out to Champion Drive. DSP. I got to show Wayne's people that helped make Wayne's show possible. In the Rhode Island area, if you're gonna be around, check out Uncle Felix. Does his weekly predictions, and he also does top 3. Big shout out to Situate Spartans football community for sponsoring the podcast. It's nice when we get help from the community because people don't know what goes into doing, right. to put this all together, to have the platform. Big shout out to all the Voice Sports reporters and everybody stay blessed this week and good luck. Good luck, John Gruden.
Bless up, everybody.
Good luck, John Gruden. And Wayne, hope you're feeling better. And there you go. Wayne, the Voice. Definitely check out on Voice Sports on many social media platforms. Samson the Bad Guy. That's Samson with no P. Go check him out. All right, fellas. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. The whole panel. See you next week.
Peace.
All right, we'll see you.
Well, there we go. Voice Sports in the building again. Big shout out to Mark Wright, Coldwell Bankers, always helping us out, And also, don't forget Atlantic Region Championship, 8U to 14U. This is free smoke. Newcastle, Delaware. 7U to 14U. This is age requirements as of July 31st, 2021. AYF rules. Thank you. Appreciate that, everybody. But we're gonna get up out of here, man. Appreciate everybody. Big shout out to Maryland, South and North Carolina today. We had, Delaware was in the house, doing our thing. Some good games this weekend. Make sure you check them out.